we say in Hawaii, how's it? We are now day 2 with the Mini 2. So we have the Mini 2 right here, and we have the old, good old faithful Mini 1. And I'm just giving you my initial thoughts so far, essentially with a couple days of flying the Mini 2. Right off the bat, the thing that definitely takes notice is the OcuSync 2. The connectivity with this drone is night and day from the Mini 1 because the OcuSync 2.0. And this is the controller. This is actually my Mavic Air 2 controller. I just paired it with this guy. I didn't even bother taking the other one out of the box. The LEDs on this are a different color. I think on the new controller for the Mini 2, they're actually green, and on the Mavic Air controller, they're white. So minor, but at the same time, easy to pair. Just essentially go select Mini 2, and then you hold the power button down on this guy for 4 seconds once it's turned on, and it will pair really easily. So that's not an issue. But again, the thing that really stands out is the connectivity with the transmission of the 2.0 OcuSync. I mean, it is just so much better than the Wi-Fi. But with that being said, do you really need or want, or I guess more need, do you need to go to the Mini 2 if you have a Mini 1? It depends how you're flying them. I mean, if you really aren't flying super seriously and wanting to get that much more out of it, and you're just content with flying kind of, I mean, I see a lot of people flying and they just kind of fly around, 100 feet and just kind of cruise around and do nothing major, and that's enough for them, then this guy is more than adequate, in my opinion at least. And if you don't need 4K like you do on this guy, which only has 2.7K, then again, that's enough resolution for most people. Most people don't even output past 1080 high def for, social media or something, and they don't need 4K or 2.7. For me personally, I have my other drones which have 4K outputs, so this was really something that intrigued me. Even if it didn't have the OcuSync 2.0, I wanted it for my interior stuff or when I do real estate photography and videography. So I wanted to be able to match the content and not have to up-res like I said in the previous video. But again, the Mini 1 is fine for a lot of people. I mean, it's an entry-level drone. Remember what this started out as. I mean, it was a $500 drone with the Fly More combo. Now it's almost $700 with this guy. I mean, it was pretty expensive actually. I was kind of surprised when I actually purchased this. I mean, you have the Fly More combo. I got 2 years of refresh on it, and it was, I believe, almost $700. I think I had like $24 in DJI credit, so I applied that to it, but it roughly was $700. So it's a lot more of a investment than this guy initially was. And again, if you're just wanting to learn how to fly and get a drone in your hands for the first time, the Mini 1 is adequate. Now you can pick these things up. I mean, I'm selling this guy, I believe, tomorrow to someone for $350. So for $350, you get 3 batteries, you get the Fly More combo, and it gets you going, and you can still get good content and images that you could sell actually if you wanted to as well. So there's that. But really, if you're a pro or you're semi-serious and you're not new to the drone game, the Mini 2 hands down kicks the Mini 1's ass. I mean, it's an amazing drone. It's leaps and bounds as far as the connectivity, as I said. I mean, I actually flew this thing, to 1,000 feet to get some footage of the Hancock building in Chicago, and the thing handled pretty remarkably well, and it was actually semi-windy too. The gimbal wasn't performing, but again, that wasn't necessarily the drone's fault. I still got to see if it actually happens on more mild wind days. Actually, the 2 days that I did fly the Mini 2, it's been super windy, so I haven't had a chance to fly on a calm wind day. Today, it's actually like 9-mile-an-hour winds with 19-mile-an-hour gusts, so tomorrow it's going to be more dead wind. I'm going to fly the Mini 2 for sunrise in the city in Chicago and get some extra footage and to see if the gimbal actually does anything that it shouldn't do in a nice calm wind day. But again, the purpose of this video was my initial thoughts with 2 flights with the Mini 2, and pretty blown away. I mean, just to know that this thing has the transmission like the bigger drones and never really getting any kind of lag, that's huge. And the batteries are a little different. This is the Mini 1 battery. This is the Mini 2 battery. Let me show you. Probably have seen a little bit more square. I don't know the specs exactly, what's different. I know the voltage is a little different on them, but you get a little bit more battery life with the new battery, but again, not really that big of a deal. Obviously the controllers are different. So we have this little controller where we have the iPhone or phone down below, and this is now above. And I personally am way more in love with this controller. I actually enjoy flying with it. I got used to it because I've been flying the Mavic Air 2 so much. But again, not really a deal breaker. I mean, this is fine for a lot of people, especially if you're starting out. So if you do want to have a first drone experience, the Mini 1 is still a killer little drone. I mean, we all, want to say that it's not that great of a drone because the Mini 2's out, but this was a cool drone that got a lot of people a lot of cool footage, so there is that. But yeah, super stoked with the Mini 2. I mean, the 4K content that I've captured so far has been beautiful. I mean, I'm actually really impressed with the quality of the footage. With a little color grading, it takes it to another level and really does a great job. So super impressed with this guy. Again, both 249 grams. So there's not much of a change with that. You got the Mini 1 with the little props with the silver on them. This has orange on them now. You got the little 4K on the camera because it captures 4K. The Mini 1 does 2.7. You got the different controllers. So you got this one with the bottom, area for your mobile device. You got this one for the top area. But again, hands down, the biggest new feature is the OcuSync 2.0 and the ability to capture 4K. And of course, as a photographer, being able to capture RAW format is also a big plus. And I did do a video on how to work with the RAW and JPEG files to get the most out of them. And I would take the time to watch because you actually will benefit, I would like to think, if you're not familiar with that workflow. And I'll put the link below for you guys. And if you can, obviously, like the video if this is helpful at all in determining whether you're going to buy a Mini 2 or whether you're going to keep your Mini 1, or if you're new and you don't have either of them, if you're going to buy a Mini 1 or Mini 2. Again, if you're just starting out and you're wanting to buy a Fly More combo and you're spending almost $700, it's a lot more of an investment than just spending, $400 or $500 or $300 if you can find one used, which I'm sure you can now because everyone's going to be offloading them. So stick with the Mini 1, in my opinion, if you haven't flown a drone yet, and see how you feel with it. And again, not a lot of value if you do crash. You can get refresh still on it. Like I'm selling this one tomorrow. It has a year refresh on it. If it crashes, people can spend a little bit of money and get a brand new one or upgrade to the Mini 2. So I'm hoping that helps. I just wanted to give a little feedback and input based on my experiences so far with the new Mini 2. And I think it is a kick-ass little drone. I mean, I can't even imagine what's going to be happening in another 5 years with these guys. It's pretty remarkable that this thing can fly basically to the top of a huge building and actually maintain with winds and come back with pretty killer footage and pictures. It's just super cool. So subscribe, guys. Appreciate the energy, and that's it. Peace. Bye.